ombudsman, and they ordered npower to pay him £50 in compensation. npower say they're looking into giving John Ashley more compensation to cover the saving he would have made if he had been switched on time. British Gas told us the delay wasn't at their end. They have admitted hanging on to £144.37 that they owed John Ashley. They've since sent him a refund. Steve Smith is from Flipper, the company that did the research I mentioned. Flipper charges £25 a year to look for the cheapest deal and switch you to it. It takes no money from the energy firms. I asked him what needs to change.
The reason people are switching is to move to a cheaper energy supply, so the fact that suppliers take longer to do it can hold you on the more expensive tariff for longer is just wrong. And we've had a series of broken promises. We've been promised faster switching, and the industry and suppliers just haven't delivered, and it's the customer who's losing out as a result.
Are the energy companies deliberately slowing these switches down, or are they just incompetent?
It's a very good question. We're not in a position to tell. I mean, I think ultimately it doesn't matter whether it's deliberate or incompetent. They're gaining because the supplier that's got the far more expensive tariff gets to keep you on that tariff for longer.
You see, it does matter in the sense that if they're doing it deliberately, you can make them stop. But if they're incompetent, it's hard to know where you go from here.
I think there's something simple you could do, and you see this in other industries, is if you switch, and no matter how long the switch takes, the customer should be treated as if the switch had taken after 3 days. So whoever's at fault, either the supplier you're leaving, if they're incompetent, they should refund you what you've overpaid. And if it's your new supplier who hasn't filled in the forms, they should honour their tariff and say, well, we'll give you a credit because you should have been on this new tariff 3 weeks ago. We'd like to think suppliers would come forward and say, we'll do this voluntarily, but if not, then obviously the regulator could step in and say, well, this is the only way to force you to finally deliver faster switching to make you pay for it when you don't deliver it.
Steve Smith from Flipper. Well, Rob Salter-Church is from the regulator Ofgem, who looks after consumer interests for them. Steve Smith there is saying that you could just make suppliers compensate customers for slow switching, put you straight on the rate you should be, and if it takes longer than it should, and give you back what you have overpaid. Could you do that?
So we could choose to introduce such rules if we wanted to. Now, the energy sector has made some important strides forward in improving the switching arrangements for consumers and trying to build trust. Switching times have halved in the last year.
From what to what?
So switching times now are about 20 days in electricity and 21 in gas.
Is that including the cooling off?
That is including the cooling off period.
So 20 for electricity, 21 for gas?
That's right.
On average?
On average, and about 99% of all switches will happen within that window. So whilst it's always unfortunate to hear about the kind of stories that we heard in the case study today, those are really the exception, and I would encourage consumers to switch. It is quick, it is easy in 99% of those cases, and it can save you significant sums of money.
So, yes, you say that the vast majority, 99% of cases, are within this 21-day window. It's in fact only supposed to take 17 days. What can people do then, and what can you do to make sure they're not left out of pocket?
So what we as Ofgem are doing is leading a major programme to improve the way switching happens, to move to reliable next day switching. Now that will require fundamentally overhauling all the central systems in the gas and electricity market. That will take time.
Hasn't it been promised and then put back?
So the programme remains on track to deliver that towards the end of the decade. Now that is some time away, so what we continue to do is monitor suppliers' switching times, push them to do that faster. We've also got a number of other initiatives to try to make it easier for companies like Flipper and other price comparison websites to be able to help consumers to switch more easily. So we're making the industry give them access to some of these central systems so they can get their hands on data that helps them help consumers switch more quickly.
Rob Salter-Church from Ofgem, thanks very much for coming on. And we've had an email about the story that we began with, a huge rise in numbers of people claiming compensation for food poisoning while on their holiday. And this from Julie Reed. She says, I've been on 2 package holidays this year. A week after my return from both of them, I got a PPI-type phone call asking whether I'd been ill on holiday and whether I would like to make a claim. I'm furious when I've got to face this. More fraudulent compensation claims. I told them exactly what vultures I thought they were, but it seems here we go again. That's it for today. On the programme tomorrow, we'll be investigating how online bookies are inviting people with gambling addictions to bet again. And origami is fast becoming the new perfect trend. How did we get bored of planning books so quickly? I'll be back tomorrow, same time, 12:15.
You and Yours was presented by Winifred Robinson. This begins tomorrow. We go to New York for an hour-long special edition of The World at 1. First though, time now for the weather. Here's Tom Shepherd.
It's very wet and cold out there. It's a dreadful morning for some of us with those heavy outbreaks of rain across many eastern areas of the country, and of course the season's first proper snow across the Pennines and parts of Grampian as well. Some of the Transpennine routes got a bit of snow, good covering there, a few centimetres in some areas. And it remains wet across many eastern parts of the country. In fact, it's still raining across a number of parts of eastern Scotland, northeast of England. Lincolnshire's very wet right now, and still raining across East Anglia. But the good news is that for many of us, the rain will be easing through the morning, through the rest of the afternoon, that is, into the evening. However, it is going to stay cloudy, and it is going to stay cold, really raw. In fact, temperatures for many of us won't be any higher than around 4 or 5 degrees. That's across eastern parts of the UK. Slightly different story if you live out west. So, for example, in Northern Ireland, western parts of Scotland, Wales, and down into southwestern England. These areas, yes, there will still be some rain from time to time through the afternoon, but at least the clouds are starting to break up and we are going to get some sunshine. You haven't had some sun already. And here also, just that little bit less cold, temperatures perhaps nudging up to double figures in 1 or 2 areas. Now this evening and overnight, the clouds will continue to thin, the rain will continue to fizzle away from the eastern areas until we get some clear skies by the early hours of tomorrow morning. And it will turn chilly. Not a widespread frost, I don't think, because the winds will be pretty brisk coming out of the northwest, but I think across parts of eastern Scotland, England, particularly eastern England, all the way down to the south actually, there will be some pockets of frost and even some icy patches first thing in the morning. The west, as I say, a bit too breezy. Here temperatures in many major towns and cities, Belfast, Wales, Cardiff down to Plymouth, I think they're good at 5, 6, 7 degrees overnight. That takes us into tomorrow, and I'm pleased to say it will be a better day on the weather front. Sunshine around, still worth taking a brolly or a raincoat because there will be showers lurking around, but overall a much better day and feeling just that little bit less cold. Temperatures tomorrow widely, I think, get up to anywhere between 8 and 12 degrees Celsius. And then Friday looks set to be another dry and bright day.
Thomas, thank you. Now here's Louise Cooper with one of today's Moneybox Live at 3.
Today's news is dominated by one man who is promising to change the status quo. Well, on Moneybox Live, we hear from another American who has already delivered radical change to the industry that helps us invest our savings. In the first British broadcast interview ever, John Bogle tells Moneybox Live about how he created a cheap, easy and safe way for people to invest in the stock market. The firm he founded now manages almost £3 trillion of savings cash. Get in touch if you want to join the discussion. The number to call is 03700 100 444 or email moneybox@bbc.co.uk.
On 92 to 95 FM, 1 nanometer longwave, and on digital radio. This is BBC Radio 4.
The World at Once is Martha Carney in New York with an hour of news and comment. In the most extraordinary result in American political history, Donald Trump is going to become the 45th President of the United States.
No dream is too big, no challenge is too great. Nothing we want from our future is beyond our reach. America will no longer settle for anything less than the best.
Striking a statesmanlike tone as he claimed victory, Donald Trump urged Americans to unite.
Now it's time for America to bind the wounds of division. We have to get together.
Here in New York, where both candidates have been through the night, I've been out on the streets as the drama unfolded.
I think people really understand where he's coming from.
Donald Trump has a vision to turn this nation from a divided nation into one.
But will Donald Trump govern as abrasively as he campaigned? In this special programme, we'll be talking to his supporters and opponents and getting reaction from around the world. The BBC News is read by Caroline Nichols. Donald Trump has promised to be the president for all Americans following his stunning election victory over Hillary Clinton. The Republican businessman and political outsider defied pre-election polls to defeat his rival in several swing states, although she did claim a larger share of the popular vote by 0.1%. Speaking to ecstatic supporters at a rally in New York, Mr. Trump acknowledged